Welcome back to Houston Life. Our next guest created and cultivated one of the most successful music groups of all time. I'm talking about the Destiny's Child.
And he has done a million things over the course of his career. Now he is bringing their legacy to life on stage in a way you've never experienced their music before. It is the Destiny's Child iconic Reimagined Tribute Tour. Mathew Knowles, the one and only, is here with more. It's a nationwide tour. It kicks off right here in Houston, the Bell Tower on 24th on Friday.
Tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. I can't believe it. Mathew, it's so nice to see you. Welcome back to Houston Life.
Derek, it's been a minute.
Yeah, okay, so back us up. We're going to talk about the tour, but obviously people know you as, you know, the creator of Destiny's Child, Beyoncé and Solange's dad. You were the #1 salesperson at Xerox in the world, right?
In the medical division of Xerox in the 80s, 3 out of 4 years.
Incredible.
And then went on to sell MRI and CT scanners and ended my corporate career as a neurosurgical specialist with Johnson & Johnson.
Okay, so Mathew, essentially in your household growing up, I'm trying to imagine what it would have been like.
Right.
I mean, success was
standard.
Was kind of like you modeled that in the house. And is that something that you always wanted for your family and your kids?
Well, I was given that as a kid from my grandfather and my parents. So, you know, Beyoncé and Solange are fourth-generation entrepreneurs. So it's just something like a DNA that's in our family to strive to be the very best only by learning and understanding our passion and what you're passionate about.
Oh, wow. Well, parents, I think, you know, they will be successful and they don't always succeed in instilling that in their kids. How did you make sure that that was going to be the bare minimum?
Well, that's a good question because had I had to tell Beyoncé or Solange they had to go to practice the next day, then it would have been a hobby. And a lot of parents can't differentiate from their kids' passion versus a hobby. And it's okay to have a hobby, but when you're passionate, I never had to tell Beyoncé, hey, you have to go to practice tomorrow. She was bugging me, Dad, I have to be at practice tomorrow. You know, and that's the difference. But I wanted them to find the thing in life that they were passionate about, not what I wanted them to be. And I always say, had they come to me and said, Dad, we want to be doctors, I would say, go to med school, and when you graduate, Dad would have bought a hospital.
Wow.
That's the way we
Incredible.
thought.
You were telling me before today's show, Mathew, that sitting around the dinner table, it was not like you were sitting there and saying, you're going to be a billionaire one day. I am raising a billionaire. I mean, Beyoncé is now a billionaire, but this was not a thought in your mind. You knew, however, she would be really good at whatever she chose to do.
And again, it goes back to work ethics and putting in the work. I mean, she put in the work to be the very best. But they failed a lot. They got dropped on Electro Records. They lost on Star Search. And if you find anyone that's highly uber successful, they fail. And it's from that failure and those mistakes that they became better.
That's really interesting. And I think so many of us are just afraid of failure, but that's part of the growth process, right?
That's absolutely part of the journey.
And people are always constantly putting in their successes, but you don't see the behind the scenes hard work and those failures. People don't really brag about those sort of things. But you guys are still a family. Billionaires, success aside, you guys are still a family.
2 billionaires.
2 billionaires. Excuse me.
J-E-M-P-S.
Sorry. Stand corrected.
That's right. That's right. But so what are the updates? What is life like now? Now that Destiny's Child, they're not a group anymore. Beyoncé, everyone knows she's had her breakout solo stuff. Solange has had her breakout solo stuff. What is the family update?
Well, Michelle's on Broadway, and if she wins a Grammy, I was just sharing, it means Destiny's Child would be along with the #1 male group of all time,
The Beatles.
the Beatles, to have individual members win a Grammy. And that's this month, we'll know that. Solange, you know, Solange is always creating something and quite good at it. I wouldn't be surprised if Beyoncé is not sitting back and have a new album coming out, knowing her and her personality. Blue Ivy is now getting the bug, I think. My grandson, Jules, Solange's son, is one of the top 10 male models in the world.
Wow.
In his second year. So everyone's doing their thing, having fun at it.
Success runs in the family.
Yeah.
And by the way, shout out to Blue Ivy, who turned 14 yesterday?
Turned 14 yesterday. I turned tomorrow.
Happy early birthday to you.
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks for
tomorrow's
hanging
my
out.
birthday.
Oh, so tomorrow on the tribute night, you're also celebrating
Well,
that
when you get to plan it and produce it, you get to pick the date, right?
Fantastic.
So I thought I'd pick that date.
Okay, well, this is a great family update. We do want to know more about this tribute tour. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back with the one and only Mr. Mathew Knowles when Houston Life returns. Don't go away. Okay, Houston Life is back, folks. We got Mathew Knowles. We are chatting about the Destiny's Child iconic Reimagined Tribute, which kicks off tomorrow night, January 7th, the Bell Tower on 24th. This is a chance for fans, Mathew, to experience some of Destiny's Child's classic hits. The girls will not be performing on stage. This is all instrumental. So
Yes.
give us kind of an overview. How did this tour, how was it born?
Well, I partnered with Candlelight, who's been doing this for 10 years, and went to actually Beyonce show tribute. They've been doing Beyonce's tributes for a year and a half. They do Taylor Swift, Adele. So they're really good at this. But imagine walking into a room and there's 3,000 candles and a stage, and you have a quartet.
Beautiful.
In this case, a quintet of violinists, strings, and this amazing atmosphere. And everybody's dressed up sharp and chic and on time. It's just an amazing experience. Amazing experience.
I feel like this is so perfect for people who grew up with the hits on the radio, and now, maybe we're a little more mature. I could probably get emotional listening to some of this stuff turned classical.
Well,
Do you?
I've seen people get engaged at these events.
Wow.
It's special. It's really special. It's a real experience. You have to really be there to experience it.
It's not an accident that Houston is the first city on this nationwide tour, right? And by the way, the tour is kind of aggressive. You have lots of stops, 40-something stops?
Yes, and unfortunately, the 8:30 has sold out, and we only have 30 seats for the 6:30. So if someone's going to get the ticket, literally in 3 hours, they'll be gone.
If you want tickets, you need to get them now for tomorrow
Right.
night. 2 shows, 6:30 and...
Well, 8:30 is
8:30
sold out.
sold out.
Yeah,
Okay.
6:30 is still available.
Why
Okay.
did you pick Houston to start it off?
Well, I teach at Prairie View.
Exactly. Tell us about that. Your connection with Prairie View A&M.
A new role title, presidential executive in something.
Fancy.
It's a fancy title, but I really enjoy it. It's my 24th year teaching, and so I lecture in marketing and communications and sales. But I also assist the president in bringing strategic partners together.
And you've worked for huge brands like L'Oreal, Pepsi, the list goes on and on and on. When you bring your experience into the classroom and you're able to talk to these young people and say, hey, when I was working for Samsung or when I was working for such and such, that's a different type of learning, right? Can you describe to us how the process works?
It is, because what most people don't know, if they haven't been in a corporate environment or any environment outside of college, people buy you first, then your product. See, college doesn't teach you that.
It's so true.
You're right, because you go to college
So
and you
true.
think, okay, if I just do it this way, this is the
Right.
blueprint to have it. But then the world is very different. As someone who has been in business, has all these accolades, and this is kind of a new age, the Gen Zers that are coming up. What advice do you have for them?
Well, start working on your brand today and understand what brand development is. Storytelling. What differentiates you versus someone else? Optics. When we see someone, we form an opinion in seconds. And it's hard to change those opinions. Mm-hmm. So just know that and take what you've learned and don't stop learning. That's why I love teaching, because I'm curious. I don't want to stop learning. I want to keep exploring, keeping Destiny's Child legacy, because I am having enjoyment in doing this. This has really been fun for me the last 4 months, putting this tribute together. And the ladies deserve that.
Yeah, well, it is quite a legacy, and I wish I could have been a fly on the wall back in, what, 1990? When really, that was around the Star Search time, right?
Yeah.
And that's really when the group started morphing and evolving. This great photo of Kelly on the left, Michelle, there you are, and of course, Beyonce. I mean, there are so many moments in your life that I feel like must have been pinch me moments. And back then, I mean, we talked about you knowing that Beyonce would be successful, that Solange would be successful. Did you always know that you would be successful when you were a young person?
Yeah, my parents, I had great parents. They always instilled in me to dream, and I could do and be anything I wanted to in life. And seeing my grandfather, Dave Hogue, who Beyonce named her liquor after, Sir Davis.
Yeah.
Seeing my grandfather, who had 200 acres of land, moonshine distributor. But he had this one thing. He would lease 20 acres of land to the local paper mill. They would cut down the trees, and then he would farm after that. They paid him to cut down the trees. I always think that's just brilliant.
Wow.
Because they were going to do that anyway. By the way, we've had the Sir Davis here on the show.
We have.
It is delicious.
Yeah, next time we'll pour up a glass. Mathew Knowles, it's so great to see you. Thanks for coming back to see us here at Houston Life.
Well, thank you. And again, destinychild.com. Get those tickets.
Yeah, and few remaining for that first show tomorrow night. It is the iconic Reimagined Tribute kicking off tomorrow night. Bell Tower on 24th. And more ticketing information is available on our website. Look for that scene on Houston Life section at houstonlife.tv.